Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the dry cell, which is a kind of primary cell. If you remember, in the last class we discussed about the voltaic cell, also a kind of primary cell, but we have a new type of primary cell, which is called a dry cell. And you might have seen this dry cell in different places. Most commonly we use this dry cell in the battery, so that cell you are quite familiar with. But do you know what all parts are there in the dry cell? What makes the dry cell? If you break it open, then you can see easily the different parts inside. I have drawn a diagram of a dry cell with different parts. The internal parts are shown. So very first thing that will be visible when you break the dry cell will be the long black rod, which is called the carbon rod. And at the top of the carbon rod it is fixed with a cap made of brass. And this brass cap acts as the positive terminal of the battery. In fact, the whole battery is a container made of zinc, which can also be called as zinc can. And the base of the zinc can is taken as the negative terminal. So in this battery also we have got two terminals, the positive, which is the metal cap, and the negative terminal, which is the base of the zinc can. The other important parts of the battery is the moist paste. So around the carbon rod, that is this rod, you will find a mixture of manganese dioxide and the paste of ammonium chloride is taken. This ammonium chloride taken is also called electrolytes, and there will be a chemical reaction of these chemicals taken inside that will constitute the electric current. So when we connect the wire at the two terminals of the battery, and when you are also connecting a bulb in the wire, the chemical reaction undergoes by the chemicals will be very fast, and you will soon find the bulb glowing. That is, during this chemical reaction the current begins to flow, that will help the glowing of the bulb. So we have this about the dry cell. I hope it is clear. So this was, as you know, one part of the primary cell. Let us now see about the secondary cell. Secondary cell. Secondary cell is the cell where, or you can say it is the cell in which different cells are also taken to make a battery, and it is the cell which can be used again and again. Only because of the reason that the reaction in the secondary cell can be made reversible by passing electric current to it. So on passing electric current, the chemical energy can be stored, which will be ready for again to be used. So secondary cell is the cell that can be recharged and can be used several times. The very common example of secondary cell will be the battery, which is also called lead acid accumulator. And you find these kind of batteries generally used in the vehicles like cars, trucks, etc. And also we use this battery in charging the inverters. Where the inverters are used, we use this kind of batteries. And you should know here that battery means the group of cells, because one cell alone cannot give you a strong current due to its small voltage. So we need this group of cells to be work together. When they work together, it increases the voltage of the current and also the strength of the current. Let us now move to electric circuit. Electric circuit. Electric circuit, when we talk about, it only means the path through which the current flows. Circuit is nothing but the path through which the current flows. Because we know that current cannot flow if the path is not provided to it, and this path is made using different elements like the wires, the appliances, the switches. All this together will make an electric circuit. So altogether, an electric circuit is a path through which the current flows, and it is of two types. Electric circuit can be an open circuit. Open circuit is the circuit through which current does not flow. Current does not flow. Will be an open circuit, and second will be closed circuit. Closed circuit. It is the circuit through which the current flows. The current flows. Now, how can we make a circuit an open circuit? You might have seen the switch, which can be turned off and turned on. When we turn off the switch, we are actually breaking the circuit. So you might have noticed that as soon as you turn off the switch, the current stops flowing. That means the circuit has become an open circuit now. But when you switch the current, switch on the current or turn the current switch on, then we can find once again the current starts flowing. That becomes the closed circuit. So with the help of the switch, we can make a circuit an open circuit or a closed circuit. Even sometimes when the wires breaks, it also stops the current flowing. That also can become an open circuit. And you should know one thing here: in open circuit, the current will come from positive terminal but will not be able to reach the negative terminal. As this is an open circuit, the current cannot travel smoothly. But in the closed circuit, once the current starts from the positive terminal, it can easily reach to negative terminal also. So this is about open circuit and closed circuit. Now we have some elements of electric circuit. Elements of electric circuit means the elements or the parts which constitute an electric circuit. Like for making an electric circuit, we require different parts like the switch, connecting wires, appliances, resistance, rheostat. Then we have key, ammeter, galvanometer, etc. These all parts will constitute an electric circuit, and they are called elements of electric circuit. And each of these parts have got function to do. For example, ammeter has a function to detect the current, to measure the reading of the current, voltmeter measures the reading of voltage, and so on. So next class we will discuss about how to make a circuit diagram using these elements. Thank you.